Ever get that feeling? You know that feeling like some places are just hiding something big?
Yeah, definitely.
That's Redwater, Montana for ya.
Hmm.
Straight out of an X-Files episode. Or maybe even Twin Peaks.
Aha! Yeah, I can see that.
But with that Stargate twist, right?
Of course. Gotta have that Stargate element. That's what we're all about here.
This time we're diving into Operation Silent Growth.
Oh, this is a juicy one. Lots to unpack there.
You know it. We've got the mission dossiers, personal logs from the team on the ground, the whole shebang.
See, that's what makes these files so fascinating.
Absolutely. What's the deal with Redwater? It's more than just, like, government secrets and weird happenings, right?
Right. It's like, are we seeing the consequences of human actions, or is this something else entirely? You've got forces at play that we may not even be able to comprehend.
Okay, so paint me a picture. What's Redwater like?
Okay, so picture this. A small town, way out in the middle of nowhere, nestled deep in the Montana mountains.
Isolated.
Totally cut off, rumors swirling around it like a bad wind, local legends that would make your skin crawl.
And then there's that whole hotel hell thing, right? That lost episode.
Yes, that's a perfect example of how Redwater messes with what's real and what people want to believe.
Like, did Gordon Ramsay walk into a situation even HE couldn't stomach?
Exactly. Was it actually lost, or is there something more going on?
This is why Stargate Command gets involved. SG-3, led by Colonel Miller, gets sent in to investigate.
Not just for the strange occurrences, those are definitely a part of it.
There's that fungal infection, too.
Right, and remember those obelisks we talked about, the ones activating dormant stargates?
Right, right.
There's reason to think this fungus, it might be tied to them. Like something bigger's going on here.
We've also got some potential drama within the SGC itself. Whispers about Senator Kinsey's involvement.
Always gotta have a little political intrigue, right? But seriously, how far would someone go to keep things under wraps?
Even in an organization that's supposed to be about exploration and discovery.
Exactly. Makes you wonder.
Okay, let's talk about the mission itself.
Yeah.
First weird thing, they hit a snag on their way to Redwater.
Not just any snag.
Oh, it's more than a flat tire, isn't it?
Way more. We're talking a dimensional anomaly, an invisible barrier, and it messes with each member differently, like sensory overload.
It's playing with their heads.
Right out of the gate. 1 minute, Colonel Miller's looking at a photo of his ex-wife. Next thing he knows, he's questioning his own memories.
That'll make you paranoid.
No kidding.
And then, to make things even weirder, they meet a Native American man. He warns them to turn back.
Classic horror movie trope. The cryptic local with a dire warning, right?
Totally.
But here's the thing. The team's telepath, he senses something deeper. A fear so ingrained it's palpable. Like whatever secrets Redwater holds, they're better left buried.
Okay, now that's ominous.
You said it.
And of course they keep going, only to find their way blocked again. This time, it's a roadblock.
But not a routine traffic stop, no.
Oh, I bet. Who's running the roadblock?
Local law enforcement, but they're on edge, jumpy. They even mention Captain Sinclair's pregnancy, which they should have no way of knowing about.
Like they're reading from a script.
Right, a script they're terrified of messing up.
And to top it all off, the radio, which was off before they hit that barrier, suddenly springs to life.
Not just any radio program either. This is full-on conspiracy theory hour.
Government experiments. Alien cover-ups.
So works.
So is Redwater trying to scare them away or pull them in deeper?
Good question. And it only gets stranger from here because as they finally arrive at the Redwater Inn...
They're home, away from home.
Ah, right, their home base.
Yeah.
Things go from weird to downright unsettling.
Like the flyer with those strange symbols that appears out of thin air.
And then there are the locals, overly friendly, almost too eager to please.
Like they're all playing a part in some elaborate play they don't even know the ending to.
Exactly.
And then we've got Maya entering the picture, but we'll get to her. She deserves her own segment. So last we left off, SG-3 was at the Redwater Inn, and things were getting a little weird, to say the least.
A little weird. They were practically neck deep in it. Remember the innkeepers, Ruth and Gary?
Oh, yeah. How could I forget? They were something else.
1 minute they're all smiles, the next they're practically hissing threats, like they're reading from two totally different scripts.
It's like they were actors who forgot what play they were in.
Right, and that whole thing with the lost episode of Hotel Hell.
Yeah, they were obsessed. Like it held the answers to all of Redwater's secrets.
But their stories about it, they never quite added up. It's like their memories were, well, broken.
Like someone took a puzzle, tossed out half the pieces, and then glued the rest back together randomly.
Exactly, which, knowing how things go in the Stargate universe is never a good sign.
Speaking of things not quite adding up, Maya. She shows up. Say she's SGC, but something's definitely off.
From the get-go, she's a walking question mark. Her memories are hazy, her clothes are a mess.
And there's something about the way she acts,
Like, she's playing a part but doesn't know all the lines.
that's it. So naturally, the team's thinking gold, right? A parasitic alien wearing a human suit.
It wouldn't be the first time they'd tangled with those imposters.
But Maya throws them a curveball. Turns out she's Takakura.
The good guys, so to speak. Symbiotes, but the kind that work with their hosts, not against them.
And they're known for going undercover, right?
Deep cover, infiltrating the enemy ranks. Classic espionage stuff.
So not a golden disguise then. Case closed.
Not so fast. Even with this revelation, the team's not quite ready to let their guard down.
And can you blame them? I mean, this is Redwater we're talking about. Trust is a luxury they can't afford.
Especially when reality itself seems to be playing tricks on them. They're walking a tightrope trying to figure out who's a friend and who's a foe, or if those lines even mean anything in this place.
So they decide to do some snooping of their own, right? Break out the Sodan cloaking device. But this isn't your grandma's invisibility cloak.
Oh no, this is the deluxe model. It doesn't just make them invisible, it lets them see into other dimensions, like switching channels on your TV, but instead of reruns, you get alternate realities.
And what do they find on these channels?
Surveillance cameras.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Hidden in plain sight. Someone's been watching their every move. And then they catch Gary, the innkeeper, spying on them through a two-way mirror. Not exactly subtle.
Talk about creepy. This is escalating quickly. It's not just small-town weirdness anymore. This is a full-blown operation.
With them as the unwitting stars of the show. But it gets weirder. Remember that strange device we mentioned earlier? The one emitting that low-frequency hum?
The one hidden in the inn. Yeah, what about it?
It's like a Frankenstein's monster of technology. You got your everyday electronics all cobbled together with something else. Something definitely not of this earth.
Alien tech.
Alien tech. And get this, it seems to be interacting with those dimensional anomalies, almost like it's controlling them.
So someone's pulling the strings, orchestrating this whole thing from behind the scenes. But why?
That's the million-dollar question. And then just when you thought it couldn't get any weirder, there's that incident with the bathroom sink.
Don't tell me. It's not what I think it is it?
Oh, it is. That sink decides to start oozing some kind of strange black sludge.
Like something out of a nightmare. Like the inn itself is sick, infected.
Right. It's one thing after another in this place. But just as things are about to go from creepy to full-blown horror, Captain Sinclair drops a bombshell on the team. She's been compromised.
She was forced to sabotage the mission. But how?
Blackmail. Someone's got leverage over her, threatening her loved ones, and she's got to play along or risk their lives.
Talk about a no-win situation. It's heartbreaking seeing her caught like that, having to betray her team.
She does try to fight back, though. There's this powerful moment where she destroys the burner phone she's been using to communicate with her blackmailer.
A small victory, but a victory nonetheless. Still, the damage is done.
The trust is shattered, and now they're trapped, facing the consequences of actions they couldn't control. And that, my friend, is when the time loop hits.
The time loop. We've got to talk about that. But before we do, let's make sure everyone's caught up.
Good idea. This is where things get really interesting. Buckle up.
Last time on the deep dive, SG3 found themselves trapped in a time loop, caught in a web of conspiracies and facing threats both alien and waiver. Well, even weirder than alien.
Right, and with their memories fragmented, trust shattered, and a mysterious device messing with the very fabric of reality, the odds were definitely not in their favor.
So how do they escape this temporal prison? What's the key to breaking the cycle?
Well, they finally realize it's that furling device we keep talking about, the one messing with the dimensional frequencies. It's like it created a feedback loop, with their actions in the loop feeding back into the device itself.
So each reset, each loop, it wasn't just a repeat, it was another piece of the puzzle.
Exactly. And once they figure that out, they can start working with the loop, using their knowledge of what's to come to try and change the outcome, to break the cycle.
And they managed to pull it off, right?
Yeah.
But even after they're free from the loop, things aren't exactly back to normal.
No, the loop, it leaves its mark. Think about it. They've lived through the same events countless times, different variations, different outcomes. Those memories, they don't just vanish.
They're stuck with bits and pieces, flashes of alternate timelines all jumbled together. Talk about trauma.
Exactly. And now they have to deal with Ruth and Gary, who are also aware of the loops, but their understanding of what happened, well, let's just say they didn't handle it as well.
And they start dropping names, right? This
Hmm.
Nathan, this Adam, like they were taking orders from someone.
And remember how they kept mentioning fame? Like they were promised something in return for their cooperation? It's classic manipulation playing on their desires to keep them under control.
It's all starting to make sense, isn't it? It's not just random weirdness. It's a cover-up, a conspiracy with multiple layers.
Exactly. And like with any good conspiracy, there's always someone pulling the strings from the shadows. But Colonel Miller, he's got his own lead now. He remembers something from the loops, something about the old factory on the edge of town.
The one with all the creepy stories surrounding it.
The very same. It's like a light bulb went off in his head, and suddenly everything clicked into place. The factory is the key to all of this.
Because it's more than just an abandoned building, right?
Oh, it's a whole lot more. This is where things went wrong, where ambition and unchecked curiosity collided with things humanity was never meant to meddle with.
They find those creatures there, don't they? The ones in the mission reports, the ones that, well, the ones that look like something out of John Carpenter's nightmares.
They're products of the fungus, twisted and mutated into something monstrous. But what's really unsettling is that they're not just driven by animalistic instinct. There's intelligence there, a purpose behind their actions, almost like someone or something is controlling them.
Which brings us to the heart of the factory, the puppet master behind it all, the AI.
It was designed to harness the power of the sentient fungus to control it. But somewhere along the line, something went wrong. It's a classic case of biting off more than you can chew, of underestimating the power of something you don't fully understand.
It's a theme we see a lot in these files, isn't it? The arrogance of thinking we can control forces beyond our comprehension. And in the end, it's Colonel Miller who confronts the AI, puts himself on the line to shut it down.
He succeeds, but at a cost, of course. These missions always seem to demand a heavy price. And just when it seems like they've averted disaster, they find Henry, Sinclair's husband, the one who was presumed dead.
But it's not a happy reunion, is it? There's a twist.
A cruel one, actually. Henry's alive, but he's been taken as a host by a Goa'uld symbiote. It's a reminder that even when they win, there are always casualties, always sacrifices made in the line of duty.
So even with the AI gone, the factory falling apart around them, they're still facing impossible choices, insurmountable odds.
It's almost like destiny is toying with them, showing them the limits of their power, the futility of fighting against what's already been written.
And that's when Sinclair's future daughter enters the picture,
Right.
right? The one with the power to rewrite time itself.
She's an ascended being, capable of manipulating the very fabric of reality. And through a series of events that could only happen in the Stargate universe, she's brought to the present, drawn to her parents' plight.
Talk about a cosmic intervention.
Hmm.
And she heals them both, Henry and Sinclair, defying fate itself. It's a powerful moment, a testament to the enduring strength of family, of love transcending even the boundaries of time and space.
They escape Redwater forever changed, marked by what they experienced there. It wasn't just a mission, it was a confrontation with the unknown, with the consequences of unchecked ambition and the boundless possibilities and dangers hidden within the universe.
It's a reminder that some secrets are best left buried, that some lines should never be crossed. But that's the thing about knowledge, isn't it? Once it's out there, you can't just stuff it back in the box.
And so we're left with the echoes of Operation Silent Growth, a stark reminder that the pursuit of knowledge can come at a terrible price, and that sometimes the most unsettling discoveries are the ones we make about ourselves.
That's all the time we have for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us. And remember, the truth is out there.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's better left undisturbed.